morning everyone, and welcome to the Rathmines Public School Presentation Day for 2021. My name is Isabella Smith, and I am proud to say that I have been one of our school leaders of 2021. I would like to introduce the other students who have made up our leadership team this year. Ben Mitchell, Michaela Snedden, Dustin Allen, Mackenzie Brown, Joseph Lee, Marlene Navarno, and Daniel Holt. Each year, we come together to celebrate and recognise the many achievements of our students at our school. This year has continued to be very challenging, but as it comes to an end, our resilience has again shone through. We made it! I would like to welcome Abigail Weston to the podium for the Acknowledgement of Country. Please remember, it is not appropriate to clap during or after the Acknowledgement of Country. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Abigail and I am a proud Aboriginal woman. Today it is my honour to begin this special assembly with the Acknowledgement of Country. I do this on behalf of all the Aboriginal staff and students here today. I acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are and have been the custodians of these lands for all time. I stand on Awabakal land. I pay my respects to the Awabakal people as we are all able to learn and work on their land. I pay my deepest respects to our elders past, present and emerging. I acknowledge the strength of our ancestors and extend respect to our Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal peers who are with us today.
Thank you, Abigail. Please stand and listen to the singing of our national anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. With joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this Commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Dustin. Yes, well, I do welcome everyone to our presentation day for 2021, and I offer a particular welcome to the members of the Year 6 class of 2021 who are gathered here at the front of the hall, to their parents, carers and grandparents who are here with us for this very special celebration, and to all members of our school community who will tune into the video broadcast on Friday of next week. When I was welcoming members of our school community to last year's presentation day, I focused on the idea that even though 2020 had been a particularly challenging year and that it would be easy just to write it off as a shocker, we actually had a lot to celebrate, and that hopefully we could look forward to a more settled 2021. We all know that that didn't happen, and in fact this past school year has proved to be even more challenging, not only in terms of the extended lockdown period, but also in the way our sense of resilience has been tested by a second year of dealing with the many and varied challenges associated with COVID. The format for today's presentation day is a good example of the way that we as a community have adapted to the changes that we've had to put in place in order to minimise the risk of harm to our students, their families and our staff. For the second year in a row, we've not been able to follow the regular format, which traditionally involves all students from Kinder to Year 6 travelling either into the Toronto Workers Club or more recently down to Avondale College to join up with sometimes up to 300 parents and carers for the end of year celebration. I know that our Year 6 students are naturally disappointed that they cannot be joined by students from all of our other classes today, and as a school we regret that we could not extend an invitation for all parents and carers in our community to attend. I'm especially mindful of the disappointment felt by the parents of Year 6 students who couldn't actually be with us today due to the trying to comply with the COVID restrictions. However, girls and boys in Year 6, you can rest assured that everyone is here with you in spirit, and that students in all classes, as well as parents and carers at home, will have the opportunity to tune into that presentation day video when it's uploaded on Friday the 10th. The Year 6 teachers have worked really hard with Mrs Bristow to ensure that today's gathering stays as true to the traditional presentation day format as possible, while still complying with the key aspects of the current Level 3 guidelines, particularly in regard to keeping cohorts separate, to following social distancing rules, and only having parents attend if they are presenting an award or certificate as part of the actual ceremony. One positive outcome of our compliance with the guidelines is that many parents, and in some cases grandparents, will for the first time have the joy and honour of presenting awards to their children or grandchildren. We're also mindful that it was impossible for some parents to be here due to work commitments, and in those situations the class teachers will do the honours. This annual gathering of our school community has traditionally provided us with an opportunity to present a number of annual Year 6 awards to the senior students who've either excelled in different curriculum areas or have made special contributions to Rathbones Public during their final year of primary school. And it also gives us an opportunity to officially induct our school leaders and sports house captains for 2022. The presentation of book awards to 2 students from each grade in recognition for their special achievements during this year has also been an important part of this gathering. But in order to comply with the cohorting rules, those presentations will be recorded and included in the presentation day video. In recent years I've spoken about the value of seeking guidance and inspiration from people we view as being our heroes when we're looking at how we can contribute to what we're trying to achieve as a school, either as students, as staff members, or as in the role of parents and carers. Some of our Year 6 students may recall me sharing quotations from the past years from Nelson Mandela, the great South African leader, John F. Kennedy, a former President of the United States, and more recently Jacinda Ardern, the current New Zealand Prime Minister, who is one of the most highly respected world leaders. Now, it might seem a little bit strange, but after thinking about the year we've had in 2021, I'd like to suggest that this year we can take our inspiration not from Prime Ministers and Presidents, but from a donkey, or actually a story about a donkey. I've asked our Year 6 leaders to act out the story in order to bring it to life for you, and members of the audience may have a chance to get involved as well. Ms. Fisher, would you mind organising the well there? So I'd like just to introduce the characters. We had an audition yesterday afternoon. The main character is obviously the donkey. We had a couple of people who were keen to take the lead role. Dustin was very keen, and also Izzy. But in the end, Mrs. Bristow decided that even though Dustin had many of the characteristics that would fit the role, Izzy's outstanding dramatic talents won the job for her. So Izzy's going to be our donkey, if you mind standing up, Izzy. The other really important role is the farmer. And Ben won that hands down. Ben's going to be our farmer, and we have the farmer's neighbours, which will basically be the rest of our school leaders will play that role. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So I'll start the story off. Once a farmer's donkey fell into a well. You need to picture the table here as the bottom of a well. The poor donkey cried sadly and loudly for hours as the farmer considered what to do. The farmer was upset and confused. That's good, Ben. He loved his donkey, but he had no idea how he could get the donkey out of the well. After worrying and worrying for a long time, he decided the donkey was just too old to be useful. And the well was dry and needed to be sealed up anyway. So it was probably best not to try and rescue the poor creature. The farmer asked his neighbours to come and help him fill the well in, donkey and all. Everyone grabbed a shovel and began to throw dirt into the well. The dirt rained down on the donkey's back and she began to be crushed under the weight. When the donkey realised what was happening, she cried even louder than before. The farmer and his neighbours felt sad, but then to everyone's surprise, the crying noises stopped. As the neighbours continued to shovel dirt into the well, the farmer leaned over the edge of the well to see what was happening, and he was astonished. Excellent, Ben. The donkey had not given up. As each shovelful of dirt hit the donkey's back, she shook it off and took a step up onto the dirt that had fallen off her back. This is where you might have some audience participation. It's the most important part of the story. I'll read it through first to year 5 and year 6, and then you might be able to join in. So the donkey continued, these are the important words, to shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. We'll do that again. You want to join in year 5 and 6, particularly those big words there. She continued to shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. Higher and higher until she, to the amazement of all the farmers, stepped out of the well, shook herself off once more and trotted off back to her paddock. Could you give our actors a big round of applause, please? So I guess the moral of this story is that when you are placed in difficult and challenging situations, the best thing is to try and shake off the hardship, keep aiming up and working towards your goal. The goal for the donkey was to get out of the well, which she did through her resilience, persistence and determination. In Izzy's introduction to our assembly, she quite rightly said, our resilience has again shone through this year as we've dealt with the challenges of another COVID year. That word resilience has been used a lot this year. It's one of our values. It's up on our honour board there that we really strive to at Rathmines Public School. There are many definitions and quotes regarding resilience, but you can see from the following two quotes that there's a recurring theme which has close links to the story of the donkey. So one quote is that resilience has been described as the capacity for positive outcomes despite challenging or threatening circumstances. And another quote, the concept of resilience relates not so much to our success or failure in dealing with hard times we face, but rather the way in which we respond to those hard times. There have been many examples of how individuals and groups in our school community have had to shake it off and step up this year. The Year 6 of 2021 shook it off and stepped up during what has been a particularly challenging final year of their primary schooling. So I know, girls and boys, that at times you've experienced feelings of frustration and disappointment as many of the traditional extracurricular events, including your 3-day excursion to Canberra, were cancelled. You can add to that the cancelled PWSA competitions, the discos we'd hoped to plan, the debating competition that Mrs. Bristow and Mr. Rukoff were going to run, more recently the zone athletics, and so on. but you have hung in there. You've had the opportunity to literally step up early in term 1 when you took on the 7 Mile Beach walk and the climb over the hills of Pacific Palms. You all handled the Lizzie Beach challenges really well, and most importantly, you helped your mates out. And I have a really good memory there of young Kaysen had helping out one of his mates who were not too far into the walk, and one of his mates was struggling and just offered to carry his bag up over the hill, which I think was really a good indication of that attitude of the whole group. You've continued to maintain that attitude all year, and I thank you for your contributions to our school, not just during the past 2 difficult years, but from when the majority of you started, back as little rascals in 2004, and then starting in kinder in 2005. As the senior students at Rathmines, you've continued to be great role models for all of our students through the concern and support you've shown for each other, your school and class spirit, your happy and friendly personalities, and your readiness to take on a challenge. The ladies in the office have been called on to shake off the pressure of many extra demands and have stepped up in a special way again this year, helping out in the uniform shop, and supervising all of the COVID check-ins and keeping up to date with the rules that seem to change week to week. All class teachers and support staff have stepped up to do all they could in order to minimise the disruption to student learning and to provide continuity of education for our students through the Learning from Home program. And they've ensured that every child in our school has still been known, valued and cared for during these challenging times. And again, I have many really good memories of just hearing of teachers doing 2-hour trips around the Rathmines area to drop off little parcels, organising activities down the park on the weekend just so that they could keep in touch with their students during that lockdown period. Rathmines students from kinder to right through to year 6 shook off the difficulties associated with learning from home and made a real effort to engage with their class teachers, even while they may have been being distracted by all things that could happen at home. I offer a special word of congratulations to the students who actually had to attend school each day for 10 weeks of the lockdown without the majority of their classmates because their parents were essential workers. They were really tricky times for those students, but they remained positive, they were patient with each other, and they cooperated with the different teachers who were supervising them each day. I think the children who were regularly here at that time would agree that their handball skills improved dramatically. They got to know Robbie, the school dog, really well, and quite a few of the children, I'm just looking at David there, a lot of the children actually became experts on a particular aspect of geography, the capital cities around the world. So each morning when we get the children together, we'd have a few little quizzes focusing on capital cities. And what they picked up during that 10 weeks was just amazing. There's one little girl, Ella Mills, who now, just that guarantee, you can walk up to her and ask the capital city of just about any country around the world, and just like that, she'll tell you straight up. At the same time, parents and carers took on the challenge of overseeing the Learning at Home program for their children, while also managing their own work and family commitments, and we realised that was very, very difficult. On behalf of all members of staff, I thank you not only for your efforts in that regard, but also for your readiness to support and to work with us as we endeavour to implement the ever-changing COVID guidelines. A special word of thanks to the younger teachers on staff and those without dependents who stepped up from the very first day of the lockdown by agreeing to go on the on-site at school roster and also cover extra days at school or be on call so that other staff members who at that stage had not been vaccinated could stay at home for health reasons or to look after their children. I'm sure all members of staff really appreciated that. The most recent example of someone stepping up to the mark relates to today's event. Organising the annual presentation day is always a big responsibility, but it's been especially difficult this year due to the uncertainties and restrictions associated with the COVID regulations. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Bristow for the incredible amount of time and effort she's contributed to completing all the behind-the-scenes logistics associated with today's celebration. Helen's been, I know for a fact, has been up very late at night trying to organise, as I said, the logistics associated with today. She was here at 7 o'clock this morning getting things set up. She's written the script for our leaders, contacted all the parents of children receiving awards, rehearsed with our school leaders, organised the annual trophies. We've just had a change in the company in town that actually makes the trophies for us. She's organised the certificates and book awards and is backstage over here today making sure everything runs smoothly. So Helen, once again, could you just come forward just for a minute while everyone gives you a big round of applause for helping bring this all together. This gathering of our school community is also a good time to look ahead to 2022, which we're hoping will be different to the last 2 years. Mrs. Rucroft is currently leading our school executive and members of staff through a process of finalising our 2022 to 2025 strategic improvement plan, which is being developed as a means of achieving the following vision which we have for Rathmines Public. And I guess this is just one of the traditional things. I don't think there's many years have gone by when I actually haven't read out our school vision statement at this gathering, and I just see it as a wonderful opportunity when we have lots of people together to really just sort of highlight what we're trying to achieve as a school. So our vision, Rathmines Public Schools' vision, is to pursue and celebrate excellence in all areas and to ensure every student has the opportunity to experience success within a supportive, safe, personalised and engaging learning environment which is free from all forms of discrimination. Our vision is to educate students for life, to enable them to act with moral and ethical integrity, to foster their sense of well-being, and to develop their personal values of honesty, resilience, empathy, respect, and responsibility. I look forward to working with all members of our school community when we return in 2022 and start on our journey towards achieving the goals and initiatives that underpin that vision. I thank everyone again for your amazing efforts during this past year and wish everyone all the best for a safe, relaxing and definitely well-earned Christmas vacation. Thank you. By the Infants Percussion Group and their performance of Jingle Bells.
Thank you to our wonderful kindergarten percussion group. And now it's time for the presentation of the annual awards. On behalf of Mrs. Seymour, could Mr. Elston please announce the music award for 2021?
Thanks, Mackenzie. As Mackenzie mentioned, Mrs. Seymour would normally present this award. She runs our music program at the school, does an amazing job of that every year. So I think it's appropriate that I actually read the words directly from Mrs. Seymour. It's my great pleasure to award the Music Award this year to a student who has such a genuine love of music and who enjoys sharing that love by not only performing, but always being more than happy to help others in a very caring and thoughtful way. She was also willing to assist with conducting the school band this year, and she displayed encouraging leadership skills. I'm sure we're going to hear the name, this is a bit of a spoiler, we're going to hear the name Isabella Smith and her cornet performing for many years to come. Congratulations, Izzy. And can I just echo those remarks? An amazing musician, very well deserving. I should invite Pam to come up and present the award. So obviously, the Music Award for 2021 goes to Isabella Smith.